yourself. Boss himself, South Trelawny, you ready, my boss? Ready, we're ready, you know. Down in Currico, we don't want no more of that. Good, my boss. You have the win, you know. We go fight, we go win. Get ready. Alright. Yeah, man, one ball. Pick up yourself. Mama, you good? Good?
Mr. Hanover strong.
Yeah. Hanover gone. Can't over. Man, boss. Hanover, we on it over to you, man. Don't worry yourself. We on it over to you.
I eat up the flag like crazy. Hey, one out of them picture and send it to me. Take the picture and send it to me. I'm gonna hold on a phone. Yeah, that's what I want them for. That every one of the people are gonna have it.
I hope you all have a vote. I hope you all have a vote.
You can't tell the word. Alright, this one. The next flag that we shall send to me.
To the public. We will modernize the legal framework for obtaining permits and licenses to ensure efficiency, fairness, and transparency. We will increase the monetary jurisdiction of the parish courts so more Jamaicans can have access to justice that is affordable and closer to home. And I would remind that the emergence of the parish courts took place when I was Minister of Justice, when we modernized the system from resident magistrate court to the parish court system. And we will hold public dialogue on the National Sex Offender Registry to ensure a balance between public safety and rehabilitation of offenders, because the society is calling for that. In local government, we will build on the constitutional amendment enacted in 2015 that guarantees a local system of democratic governance. We will review the 3 strategic laws that we passed under Portia Simpson Miller: the Local Governance Act, the Local Government Financing and Financial Management Act, and the Local Government Unified Service and Employment Act, with a view to making necessary adjustments followed by full enforcement of their provisions, which has not happened yet. We will empower the parish development committees and community development committees to create local plans. We will shift focus from constituency politics to community development by expanding the powers of our municipal corporations to make a difference in local people's lives. And we will establish a national People's Assembly, including diaspora representatives, to review laws and shape policy impacting local communities. We will introduce participatory budgeting and local planning, where citizens help to decide the spending priorities, which is contemplated by the 3 strategic laws. And we will create stronger accountability measures for local government, linking funding to measurable performance. Jamaica is demanding broader inclusion alongside greater accountability and integrity in public affairs. And the People's National Party, under my leadership, will deliver on that broad call. Thank you very much.
passionate advocate in access to education for all. Senator Crawford.
Thank you very much. I will stand on the protocols that have been observed, save and except to say a special recognition, of course, to the leader of the People's National Party and, as we hope, the next Prime Minister of Jamaica. I thank you all for attending, for your time and for your attention. And I have been tasked with speaking to you on access to quality education. Our position for education is based, first of all, on the reality that education is in crisis. And not only is education in crisis, there is great deterioration over the last 10 years. Some of the facts that we must acknowledge is that over 11,000 children are not achieving basic mastery at the 6th grade level in mathematics. Additionally, 18% are achieving 5 subjects, including math and English. That means 82% has not achieved the basic graduating numbers that we desire. Indeed, we have also recognized that there is a concern at the absenteeism, but also at the literacy level. In the last 10 years, literacy in 2015 reduced from 84% in 2015 to 65% in 2024. The same subject, about 5 subjects including math and English, reduced from 28% in 2015 to 18% in 2024. Therefore, we acknowledge that education is in crisis. The second acknowledgement is that the mantra of education is a contract between God and man that states, first of all, that every child can learn, which God has allowed, but the second, every child must, is the duty of our government, of our teachers, and of our parents. We therefore are committed to achieving that role that humans have gained in that contract with God. Our overall objective and the ultimate aim within our lifetime is to have 1 degree per household or its equivalent in vocation, suggesting therefore level 4 of heart qualification in vocations. That, however, would need multiple tenets, multiple hurdles to be crossed for persons, first of all, to be able to attend the university, and second of all, to be able to be successful at that level. We look at the first proposal that we have made for university, which is the first in the family scholarship. This indicates, therefore, that the first person to matriculate to university would receive, as indicated by the leader in his budget presentation, a full scholarship to the university. We have received questions about what is a family and how is a family defined. It is simple. There are 2 definitions to the family. The first is shared ancestry, and the second is shared roof. Any of which that child qualifies, that child will benefit from the first in the family scholarship. Our numbers have been calculated and reported, and it's important to indicate to students currently at the university that for the first year, our numbers considered 4 groups of university students. So not only new university students, but current university in first year will receive their second year, and current in second year will receive their third year, and equally current in third year will receive their 4th year. We also recognize that outside of those who may receive the scholarship, some are still in need of having a student loan. And again, as the leader has indicated in his budget presentation, which is why I'm so confused by the multiplicity of arguments that we have not proposed our plans. But the leader also stated that those persons who have applied to student loan, the payment will be tied to their income to ensure that student loan isn't an albatross around the necks of individuals who have the necessary expenses of survival. we have also indicated that for those who are not yet employed, student loan will not start until the start of employment. Therefore, there will be no requirement for payment. But before we get to university, we have to ensure that there is early exposure to children for their brain function. Research has indicated that 80% of the brain function occurs in the first 1,000 days. And to that extent, we will ensure that we work with the churches to create facilities for infant learning in each community so that we can have organized access to brain function and that improvement so our children can get it. Additionally, we recognize absenteeism as a major problem in Jamaica. Recently, we celebrated a return to 22% absenteeism, quote unquote, pre-COVID levels. Chronic absenteeism is suggested to be 10%. So we are celebrating twice what is suggested to be the chronic absenteeism levels. And this is for the general reality. Deep rural absenteeism has been said to be 55% and rural absenteeism 32%. To this extent, we have recognized some of the reasons for absenteeism to include access to transportation. And it's important to differentiate access and affordability because there are some communities being deep rural that have no access for them to even consider affordability. To that extent, we had indicated the RIDE program. And the RIDE program is to give $10,000 per month or $2,500 per week as a supplement to individuals who are coming from communities that may, one, not have access to make access more available, but two, may not be able to afford to ensure that they can afford getting to school. Regardless of the quality of school and teacher, absence would indicate that the child will not be able to perform satisfactorily. We also recognize nutrition to be a problem. And in recognizing that nutrition is a problem, we relied upon the research that said 56% of Jamaicans have food insecurity. Some graver than others, but 56%. Our current PATH program lunch is targeting less than 30% of our children, indicating that approximately 26% are still not accessing the necessary nutrition that is needed. To this extent, we not only decided to expand the number of students to over 240,000 students, but also to increase the amount from $180 to $400 per child per day. The current $180 have caused for an apartheid system in education where many children on PATH have to join a separate line of segregation and divided from persons who are affording other lunches. Principals have also started to offer 3 days of lunch because the money allotted cannot provide for the entire 5 days. Time come for that to change under the People's Nation. We will ensure that the stories of literacy problems in high school are a thing of the past by focusing on literacy and numeracy in the first 4 years, indicating that by the grade 6, all our children should be literate and numerate with the necessary interventions to correct the necessary things for those children. We will host camps. We will host evening programs. We will host summer school to ensure that those who unfortunately have been robbed of opportunity don't remain in the lines of the level 3 and level 2, but all come to pathway 1, which is the aim for our children. Finally, we will ensure that our children have great access to the necessities of a teacher in the classroom. We have seen the teacher migration and the negatives that have caused, especially in mathematics and vocation. And to that extent, we are proposing a retention plan for our teachers so that Jamaica become more competitive for the services of our wonderful teachers that are constantly being asked to migrate into other spaces. This retention plan will change some of the realities that we have seen, where students doing an exam in fifth form have not had a math teacher since third form. It therefore explains why less than 40% of our children taking math are passing math at this particular point in time. The teacher retention plan would include, first of all, greater access to housing through the NHT. It will include reservation of housing units built through the NHT and under government programs. It would include graduating access to motor vehicle concession. It would include forgiveness of student loan for the years that they remain in the public sector. It would include internet as a tool of trade to ensure access to preparation and information. And it would include ensuring their environs, both in the classroom and the staff room, are sufficient for them to feel comfortable moving forward. We believe that our access to education plans are holistic, fulsome, and will ensure that we move the needle from just access to quality access for our children. Therefore, we are putting forward an education plan that is based on love for our children, love for our future, and love for our country. Thank you. Jamaica.
Thank you very much, Senator Crawford, for elucidating, explore our next pillar on Mission Jamaica Love, care for the vulnerable and health services. Dr. Alfred Dawes, the next Member of Parliament for Southeast St. Catherine.
All protocols observed. A special greeting to the next Prime Minister of Jamaica. Comrades and Jamaicans here and online, good evening. I am not here tonight to sell a manifesto. I'm here tonight to invite you on a journey. It is a journey of creating a world-class healthcare sector. It is a journey towards good healthcare with dignity, where you are treated like and feel like Smaddy Pitney. It is a journey to reform healthcare, because for too long we have been kicking the reform can down the road, and now we are at the end of that road. We are reforming healthcare to meet the needs of the people, not what looks good with optics and marketing. The people have suffered long enough. They have cried too often. Billions spent with lives not saved, but friends enriched. The People's National Party will not boast of the money that is spent. It will boast of the lives saved. And I am not just here because you can read the manifesto. I am going to say the team that is going to implement these policies care deeply about the health of the nation. Led by a Prime Minister with medicine in his DNA. 3 generations of excellent doctors with Sir John Golding planting the seeds that has allowed him to select a team that is going to go far beyond what Sir John himself did. I have been the doctor who decides who gets a bed and who gets to sit in a chair for days because there are no more beds. I have been the doctor who decides who gets oxygen because oxygen is low. I have been a part of the medical team that has decided who gets to go into ICU for that one available bed and who has to die. And that is not a responsibility that you would want to wish on your worst enemy, but it is a responsibility that is faced every day by our healthcare workers. You don't want to be those healthcare workers, and worse, you do not want to be that patient or relative. Billions wasted, millionaires created. Even as more mothers die during childbirth than 30 years ago, more babies are dying than 10 years ago, than 20 years ago. More Jamaicans now are suffering under this healthcare sector, and the tears of the grieving relatives for those who have passed demand change. It is not through infrastructural projects, not an ivory tower at the University Hospital in the West Indies, when so many clinics and hospitals lack staff and basic equipment to care for those who come to their doors. The needs of the patients and the staff need to be addressed, and not the needs of the politician. It cannot be that policies are guided by ribbon cutting over service. Nothing short of comprehensive reform of the entire healthcare sector is acceptable. The regional health authorities, over 20 years now, we know that there is needed some level of reform, and we will make those painful reforms. We will change administrative functions. We will fix the wastage of money. We will drill down on the procurement issues that are facing the health. There will be a comprehensive review of how we fund the Ministry of Health, and a comprehensive review of how we spend the dollars in the Ministry of Health. And above all, we will have care with dignity. And this means that you will have care with dignity from the womb to the tomb. The political will is here tonight, Jamaica. I feel it in the room. It can be done. It will be done. So I invite you, Jamaica, to journey with the PNP as we reduce waiting times for surgeries in A&E departments, in clinics, where we move patients out of chairs into beds, where we save mothers from dying in labor with improved antenatal care rather than blaming the mothers. We will end the lies that a dead baby a day at the Victoria Jubilee Hospital is due to prematurity by building a proper neonatal ICU at the Bustamante Hospital for Children, for ensuring that timely surgeries and interventions are done at Bustamante, the largest pediatric hospital in the English-speaking Caribbean, by having a proper CT scan and MRI for the first time, instead of having those children and babies carted over in the cold air to KPH. It is a pledge, it is a promise, it will be done. Join us on a journey towards improved emergency services with proper ambulances, where we will allow patriotic Jamaicans, families, businesses to adopt an ambulance and take care of the maintenance, so that ambulance will always be on the road and available in the case of an emergency. Join us as we improve radiology, where every parish hospital will have a CT scan, where we will improve dialysis so you don't have to cut the costs and allow yourself to be poisoned a little bit more, rather than get the treatment you deserve if you have kidney failure. Join us on a journey towards dignity, where you no longer have to go on Facebook and beg for blood donations. Join us for a health service where we work towards seeing a grandmother with a hip fracture, getting her surgery done because the implants are there, rather than waiting 3 months to come up with the money to buy those implants. They will have their surgery and be home in 2 days. We are on a journey to create a primary care sector system, where if you can't afford to go to the clinics will come to you with home visits through community health aides, where you will be screened, and we will manage the diabetes better, we will manage the hypertension better, so that we will have less strokes, less amputations. Today, a leg was cut off. Every day, a leg is lost in Jamaica, likely due to diabetes, entirely preventative. Join us as we journey towards cancers screened and cured with less lives lost. And this part is particularly emotional for me, because 3 years ago, my mother was diagnosed with colon cancer, and I've told this story before with her permission. And guilt-racked, I made a pact with God that should her cancer go and she not get that dreaded surgery where she would need the bag on her side permanently, I would do everything in my power, wherever I'm planted, to improve cancer care in Jamaica. And yesterday, after her follow-up colonoscopy 3 years later, she continues to be cancer-free. Without any surgery, it disappeared from stage 3 to stage 0. And it reminds me that the pledge I made 3 years ago is not for her, but for those who could not afford the Tony Thwaites bill, who cannot afford the private doctor, those who can't call a friend and say, get a colonoscopy done. They have to wait 2 years. And during that time, the cancer grows where it is incurable. It is the reality that is facing a lot of Jamaicans, and one that I have vowed to help to put an end to that misery. And I am asking to join me on that journey, to join the People's National Party on that journey, to reduce the suffering of Jamaicans by providing the healthcare sector that I know we can create. We only have to dream it. because the team is there to do it. A team that has over 400 years of cumulative experience, but they're just waiting for the right Prime Minister to focus on her. With the right economic conditions where we're not saddled by debt and austerity. I know, Jamaicans, that you are hurt, angry, and disappointed with the healthcare sector. But it is that same hurt, anger, and disappointment that gives us all hope. Because now you are demanding, for the first time since universal adult suffrage, that health be a priority in a general election. And with this awesome responsibility of who forms the next government hanging over both parties' heads, it is for Jamaicans to choose the team who they believe cares more about their health rather than the gimmickry and the ribbon cutting. I know Jamaicans on September 3 going to the polls will make healthcare one of the reasons why they vote for the People's National Party to enact the reforms that we need. Our parents, grandparents who have gone before us, they demand it. Our children, the next generation, require it of us. We have an excellent opportunity now to fix healthcare for generations to come. Let us not waste it. Let us do the right thing. Thank you.
And we will roll out a consultation process. We'll be hosting public forums for Jamaicans to debate and recommend constitutional reform, so that when we provide you with a constitution, you will feel that it belongs to you. We will be implementing school and community outreach programs, because that's where it all begins, with our children, as we build a new nation alongside them. Of course, we'll be launching broad public education and awareness campaigns, all aimed primarily at the outset with replacing the British monarch with a Jamaican president chosen by the people and accountable to the people. We will make the Caribbean Court of Justice the United Kingdom Privy Council, and have a court which brings justice at the highest level to our people. We shall strengthen parliamentary accountability. We shall introduce impeachment and reform. And we shall have committees chaired by opposition members, because trust me, that is how you ensure that everybody upholds the values which they pledged to do when they took the oath under the Constitution as they were sworn in. We shall have a discussion and consider fixed election dates and term limits, and this is no
Miss. And to those of you who are not here but are listening, we shall expand the Senate to broaden representation to include the diaspora, persons with disabilities, and the Rastafari and Maroon communities. Inclusion for all. We will also prioritize legal changes that reflect our identity and deepen justice. You heard our manifesto in Patois? Well, we will recognize the Jamaican language as an essential part of our Jamaican identity. We shall protect historically marginalized groups, particularly people of African descent, through a national ban on hair discrimination, a reparations advocacy framework grounded in international law. We shall have legal protection of our ancestral spaces and our cultural practices. We will have full recognition of Rastafari as an indigenous religion with associated rights. And we will reach an accord with Maroon communities to give a modern interpretation to their ancestral treaty rights. You think we're done? No. We are going to be advancing gender equity, protection of the elderly, and the rights of persons with disabilities. We will implement a progressive beach policy by reviewing the Beach Control Act. We will guarantee public access while balancing tourism and private use. We will join the International Criminal Court to reinforce Jamaica's commitment to global justice. And comrades, Jamaicans, we are going to be expanding the legal services provided by the Legal Aid Clinic to ensure that persons who have constitutional matters or civil matters who cannot afford to retain a lawyer will be able to do so, ensuring that justice is not reserved just for the wealthy. We will complete the long-promised review of the Domestic Violence Act, which was introduced under our government, and we will implement the recommendations to hold abusers accountable. We shall provide parish facilities to provide places of safety and support for victims. We will enact a basic financial services law to establish minimum services which we, the consumer, should be provided with, so that our complaints will be heard and our concerns will be taken into account by financial institutions. That too is a partnership. It's only a glimpse into our future. We have as our leader a man who passed the most legislation ever in the history of this country. And it was legislation designed to uplift the people at every time. So comrades, the word is love. We bring you love as we bring you justice for all.
Plenty of people run for leadership and promise to walk with you, but then they walk away from their plans. But how many will sit with you, really sit with you? You should never have to choose between your education and your future. The first in your family, accepted in college or university, will get a full scholarship because you matter. Student loan repayments will be capped at a percentage of what you actually earn, and you won't be asked to pay a cent unless you're employed. This election is not just about change, it's about your future, your family. It's about you. They had 10 years to choose you, and they chose themselves. You deserve a better life. Jamaica, time come, and that time is now.
Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, that time is now. A round of applause again for the first presentation as we move through our Jamaica Love acronym. Now, one of our nation's favorite teachers is also on our slate of elite 63 candidates, and he must be wondering why I'm sitting with the M in the acronym, because this is the modern infrastructure panel. We don't do the A, access to education, as yet. Rest, trust me. On this side, we can spell Jamaica. You are indeed up next. So following behind the Justice for All conversation, we invite Senator Damian Crawford, a man known for his creativity in finding solutions.
With our next Prime Minister at the center, reciting, saying, as a reminder to keep ourselves accountable to the people that we serve, I invite you to stand as we cue up the playing of our Jamaican National Pledge.
And Peter again. Good, my boss. And following.
Before God and all mankind, I pledge the love and the loyalty of my heart, the wisdom and courage of my mind, the strength and vigor of my body, in the service of my fellow citizens. I promise to stand up for justice, brotherhood, and peace, to work diligently and creatively, to think generously and honestly, so that Jamaica may, under God, increase in beauty, fellowship, and prosperity, and play our part in advancing the welfare of the whole human race. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And now to take us into the next pillar, the final A in Jamaica, as we explore Mission Jamaica Love, accountability in governance. Please welcome a man most suited to speak to accountability in governance, our president, the People's National Party, and leader of the opposition, a man who has led with integrity and vision, Mark Golding.
Jamaica's democratic journey began with the fight for the right to vote and then self-government. Today, we must go further. Democracy is not only about casting a vote, it's about giving citizens an authentic voice in the decisions that affect their lives. The People's National Party is committed to participatory democracy, where governance is transparent, inclusive, and accountable. We will modernize our public institutions, return power to communities, and rebuild trust in government by creating a system that delivers for the people. Now, earlier you heard some constitutional aspects of this in the introduction of a procedure for impeachment, for recall, for the opposition chairing committees in Parliament, and I would add unexplained wealth orders. Further to all of those, we must restore and will restore the office of the political ombudsman as an independent separate from the Electoral Commission of
Good, my
Jamaica.
boss.
Yes, man.
We have the win, you know.
Ensure the independence.
We gonna fight, we gonna win. Alright, my boss.
To enable it to pursue its statutory mandate without fear or favor, including desirable improvements such as the modification of the so-called gap clause to achieve a workable balance between protecting legitimate reputational rights and ensuring timely disclosure in the public interest. I said, in the coming elections, there will be candidates who are under investigation for illicit enrichment, and the voters will not know who they are other than one. We will strengthen the oversight committees in Parliament, including by enacting mechanisms that facilitate the participation of civil society and other non-state actors in the work of those oversight committees. We must broaden democracy in this country and include more people in the process of government. We will modernize the Access to Information Act, which was introduced by the People's National Party and which needs further reform, including to implement simpler processes, shorter timelines, and a broader scope to facilitate the flow of information to the public. We will modernize the legal framework for obtaining permits and licenses to ensure efficiency, fairness, and transparency. We will increase the monetary jurisdiction of the parish courts so more Jamaicans can have access to justice that is affordable and closer to home. And I would remind that the emergence of the parish courts took place when I was Minister of Justice, when we modernized the system from resident magistrate courts to the parish court system. And we will hold public dialogue on the National Sex Offender Registry to ensure a balance between public safety and rehabilitation of offenders, because the society is calling for that. In local government, we will build on the constitutional amendment enacted in 2015 that guarantees a local system of democratic governance. We will review the 3 strategic laws that we passed under Portia Simpson Miller: the Local Governance Act, the Local Government Financing and Financial Management Act, and the Local Government Unified Service and Employment Act, with a view to making necessary adjustments followed by full enforcement of their provisions, which has not happened yet. We will empower the parish development committees and community development committees to create local plans. We will shift focus from constituency politics to community development by expanding the powers of our municipal corporations to make a difference in local people's lives. And we will establish a national People's Assembly, including diaspora representatives, to review laws and shape policy impacting local communities. We will introduce participatory budgeting and local planning, where citizens help to decide the spending priorities, which is contemplated by the 3 strategic laws. And we will create stronger accountability measures for local government, linking funding to measurable performance. Jamaica is demanding broader inclusion alongside greater accountability and integrity in public affairs. And the People's National Party, under my leadership, will deliver on that broad call. Thank you very much.
Boss himself. Yeah, but I them long term. Here, copyright them there. Yeah, copyright them there, you know. Boss himself, South Trelawny, you ready, my boss? Ready, we're ready, you know. Down in Curry County. want no more of that. Good, my boss. We have the win, you know. We gon' fight, we gon' win. Get ready. Alright. Yeah, man, one ball. Pick up yourself. Am I good? Good?
Mr. Hanover strong.
Yeah. Hanover gone. Can't back. Man, there, boss. Hanover, we on it over to you, man. Don't worry yourself. We on it over to you.
In steadfast assurance that God will look down and give us His blessing our efforts to crown. Let all be united to build by His grace a nobler Jamaica, a loftier race. Land of my birth, I pledge to thee, loyal and faithful. In steadfast assurance that God will look down and give us His blessing our efforts to crown. Let all be united to build by His grace a nobler Jamaica, a loftier race. Land of my birth, I pledge to thee, loyal and faithful. In steadfast assurance that God will look down and give us His blessing our efforts to crown. Let all be united to build by His grace a nobler Jamaica, a loftier race. Land of my birth, I pledge to thee, loyal and faithful.
March, 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 march,
Big Belly Sketch is a rhyme of TV. People, God bless you, man, don't support it. Big Belly Sky is the workers' champion. That you are good youth and God bless you. So support him. Hey, Sky Joe!
My name is Duembo from the World Immortals Stool. I don't know. Rhyme Up TV, me I tell you about that TV station. Don't touch on the dial, you understand? World Stone Love, Rhyme Up TV. Horse, angry.
I'm coming to the world Google. Not about Rhyme Up TV. It's a Rhyme Up, one of the real one them. That's why I stand up here son, I do this. That's Rhyme Up, I'm real. I'm going to salute him. You hear that? Rhyme Up, pick up yourself, you know. Rhyme Up!
Here from electionnews, the rebel girl Daniel here representing Rhyme Up. I love you.
Well, I don't know how I can marvelous to represent for DJ Rhyme Up. Rhyme Up.
Yes, them on there ain't no stress, then you don't know it. Sean Paul alongside the Rhyme Up. Tell some boy them time up. You don't know it go. Rhyme Up. Play music. Dirty.
Rhyme Up. Well, global Rhyme Up. I really talk it out. I am telling you.
You don't talk on this Rhyme Up.